Hey guys, I decided to do something new. I went to my local comic book shop to pick up my books, and I saw her and another figure that will be out soon. It will be in my next review. But I saw a few figures from the Black Series line that I just had to get, and I figured if I had to get them, I might as well do a review of them. So here is my look at the new Star Wars The Black Series Bastila Shan from Hasbro. Let's get a better look at that packaging, shall we? And here is the packaging up nice and close. We of course have the since Hasbro is doing this whole thing with plastic-free packaging, we of course just have a kind of a embossed picture of the figure with of course the Gaming Greats logo right there. Of course from Bastila Shan from the game Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Of course, the sticker got this for $26.99, a little bit more than what I usually like to spend on my figures, but we're dealing with it. And then we, of course, have the continuous mural design, which, of course, is Bastila Shan down there. We, of course, have the character right there. And what looks like could be HK-47 over there. And then maybe that's Cal Kestis or Malik. I'm not quite sure. But then we also have the Star Forge back there, which I think is a really cool detail right there. And of course on the back we have a little bio from Bastila Shan, which you can pause and read right there, which very in keeping to the game from what I know about the game. I'm not a huge KOTOR fan, but I do find them really cool. And then you of course get another look at the figure without showing the actual character. Of course, 21 in the Gaming Greats line, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Of course, all of the different legalese and stuff like that, showing the size of the figure right there, 5.7 inches, 14.6 centimeters, and then, of course, the length of the lightsaber, and then goes on to say stuff about plastic-free packaging, all that good stuff. Nothing on the top. Now on the bottom, we of course have the legalese, and then get you guys that barcode for you to scan wherever you need to, even though this probably won't be that kind of figure. You probably won't see this out in the wild much. But, yeah guys, let's get this chick out of the packaging. And here is Bastila out of the packaging, and I don't know too much about Bastila. I never managed to play KOTOR. So my knowledge on Bastila is very limited, even though you might not know from the content I post on here, but I am actually low-key a huge Star Wars fan. I am reading a lot of the books during my day job because I'm fortunate for my day job to allow me to do that. So I listen to a lot of the Star Wars books on Audible. I'm not a huge I'm not diving too deep into Legends though, so that's why. But I do know a decent bit about Legends. I know that basically Bastila is the Jedi that mentors Revan throughout most of KOTOR, and then they eventually fall in love and have a kid who ends up being Shatil, who ironically beats the crap out of Darth Malgus, one of my favorite Old Republic Sith Lords. But that's basically all I know about Bastila. I know she does battle meditation. I know that's a thing. I don't really know how battle meditation works, though. So there is that. So my knowledge about Bastila is very limited. But let's get a better look at the actual figure herself. She is a very small figure, though. Even for like a 6-inch, even for like 6-inch figures, she is very small. And let's get a better look at the saber. So we of course have the saber right here, and it's a little warped. It came out of the packaging a little warped, so there is that going for it. But it looks really good. I love the kind of low-key basic design. And you can see where characters like Cal Kestis kind of got their saber from the saber ends and stuff like that. This actually reminds me a lot of Cal Kestis's saber from Jedi Fallen Order. At least Jaro Tapal's saber from Jedi Fallen Order. The completed one anyway. And I believe they reused this for the Jedi Fallen Order Gaming Greats exclusive pack, where Cal comes with the broken saber, and then he comes with a double-bladed saber. And it was green there though, but we have these pea yellow, I'd say, yellow blades, and they of course plug in and out, which I think is very awesome that they do this. But again, if you are a person that likes playing with your figures, these are really not for you, unfortunately. But overall, I think it's a very cool saber. I like the fact that it's yellow. I always love cool lightsaber colors. So yellow saber is cool, but it's a little warped, so it's kind of like, We'll put that to the side and dive into the figure. So she has a very interesting design going on here. And I don't know if they actually tried to match her to the likeness of somebody. I couldn't really tell that. But it looks her face looks very much like a real face, and I will commend the sculptors for that, using their photoreal tech that I know Hasbro has. And on the back of her head, she has a top kind of ponytail on that, and then two pigtails on the back. Very interesting hairstyle, and intrinsically Star Wars hairstyle. It's very unique. I will give him that. And then we, of course, have the standard Bastila kind of yellow undershirt, and then red tunic on top. I'm guessing kind of armor, but kind of not, like a battle kind of tunic from what I'm assuming. And then we, of course, have some armor, like shoulder pads on top right there. A lot of these kind of dark yellow kind of undertones with, of course, the maroon tunic on top, and a lot of just that. It's really just that maroon and then the dark yellow kind of undergarments like that. You look at the back real quick with these interesting little flaps that they remind me a lot of Azrael's cape, except they're not as long, of course. But she's not a very exciting figure, to say the least. She is interesting to look at because she, of course, isn't in Jedi robes, so there's that going for her. And she, like they used to do with a lot of Legends characters, they made her have her own design, and ironically very skin tight, kind of low-key how they do women superheroes and stuff like that, except she does have these kind of flaps all over the place like that. But they also don't really block her posability at all, which is very nice. I like that. But the problem I have with plastic goods is that they don't really move with the if you were to have her do some dynamic poses, the plastic doesn't really move with that. So if you're doing something like this, the plastic kind of fabric pieces still drape down, but they should be draping like that. But that's just a nitpick on the plastic capes and stuff like that a lot of figures use. But overall, I think her details are very good. She's largely painted well, outside of things like string not being painted. The clasp is even painted a little, which I think is very nice. A lot of it's just missing paint, but the sculpt is there. The sculpt is definitely there. And of course, we're down to these kind of maroon boots, and she has kind of heels, but kind of not. Very feminine boots, to my understanding. And I like how they hide the joint here with that little piece that's kind of like an armor plate that protects the ankles. But I like how that hides the joint, especially if you do something like that. But overall, very solidly detailed. Just a few missing paint blemishes here and there. But let's get into the articulation. She, of course, has a double ball peg with the neck and the head. So she rotates all the way around. She has a lot of range, actually, in the neck. But if you get the neck in there, she can look up about that far down. All kinds of mobility in the neck. Very posable neck. And that's a problem with these necks, is that you kind of have to reposition them every once in a while, unfortunately. That's why I'm not a huge fan of those. And then we, of course, have standard hinge shoulders, ball hinge shoulders, which move all the way around if it wasn't for the pieces right here. So I'd recommend only moving to about right there or so. And then, of course, moving that far back. No bicep swivel. Single jointed elbows that move more than 90. They move a good, I think, 120? No, 120 is, anyway, it's more than 90. It's more than 90. It's a nice V. It's a nice V. And then she has a roll of the dice hinges for both of her hands because, of course, she's holding a lightsaber. That's more important. She has very nice torso movement right there. She can crunch that far forward and that far back, and of course side to side. Not as much as I'd like, but McFarlane actually does these better, but no shade thrown at Hasbro. She, of course, has what I'm assuming is typical Hasbro legs right there. She can move her legs that far forward. She can move them at the far back. Split them out, of course. She has thigh swivel, which is nice to see. It's one thing I wish McFarlane would do better is thigh swivel. Double jointed knees, they look very good. As good as they can be. And then, of course, with the ankles, like I mentioned earlier, they hinge down and up. And ankle pivot, they don't have. And boot swivel. That's cool, boot swivel. They swivel at the boot. So very nicely articulate, so nicely posable for what it's given, but not as well as, let's say, our typical McFarlane figures. And here they are, all of the Legends Jedi I have in my collection. So up first, we of course have Genndy Mace Windu from the Tartakovsky Clone Wars. Absolutely fantastic figure. My definitive Windu. I don't need the ones from the prequels because that one's just so cool. Then we of course have Heir to the Empire Luke Skywalker, I believe that's what they marketed it as. He came with an E Salamiri that I have on Thrawn right now. But he was from the line where they did like the deluxe packaging. Like he came in the same line as White Vader. And I believe I actually might have a review of him on the channel. I'm not quite sure. Then we, of course, have our new Bastila right there. And then we have her hubby, Jedi Revan, from the GameStop exclusive Jedi Revan. He was... I was very fortunate to find this figure at my local GameStop. And then we have, of course, GameStop... I believe it's a GameStop exclusive Jaina Solo from a few years back. And all these figures are great. I love every single one of them. But... they're very, I like the scaling on these. I think Hasbro really has the scaling down. Sam Jackson is a very tall individual, and he towers over everybody besides Revan's hood. But Revan's not exactly the tallest guy either, so overall, scaling is very done well, and they all fit well together, so no complaints there. And here we are with some girl power. We, of course, have Jaina, like I previously mentioned, and the Clone Wars Ahsoka, Siege of Mandalore in specific, but, yeah, she's definitely has an animated kind of face, where these are a more realistic take. So they all look great, but she kind of has that disconnect from being a more animated face compared to these. But outside of that, they look proportionate together. They look around what I'd imagine the same height, even though I imagine Ahsoka a little shorter, because Ahsoka is very small. But they look absolutely fantastic. And I, of course, couldn't resist having a standalone comparison here with Bastila and, of course, her hubby, Jedi Knight Revan. And overall, they work. Like, the KOTOR figures by themselves work in the larger scheme of the whole line. The scaling's down very well. Revan's a little bit taller. So it all works. And yeah, guys, that's kind of it for this Bastila figure. Overall, I'm really digging her. She is a fantastic figure. If you want a showstopper, someone who really directs the eyes, she is one for that. If you want just a unique figure, she is one for that. Again, she's got a unique saber, that being a double-bladed saber, as well as a yellow double-bladed lightsaber. And, of course, she's a Legends character, and a fan-beloved Legends character at that, so, of course, she's going to skyrocket, so get her while you can. But for the line itself, I'm going to have to give her a 9. There's some paint apps that just aren't on there, but outside of that, she is a very solid figure. Of course, the photoreal face there. Of course, not exactly gravitating toward one specific actress or whatever, at least to my knowledge. But besides that, fantastic figure. Could not ask for a better Bastila. And is essential for a Jedi collection. And especially if you want, like, a awesome figure, but an awesome female Jedi too. Absolutely great figure right here. Cannot ask for a better Jedi figure from the Black Series. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Of course, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell me what you think about Bastila down in the comments below. And as always, guys, keep collecting. May the Force be with you. And stay peaceful out there. And I will catch you in the next video. Peace.